Ever notice how the people without tattoos are the ones who talk about them the most? They've got opinions, they've got reasons, and they've got a whole psychological playbook they probably don't even realize they're running. So picture yourself at a party, and someone's showing off their new ink. You're nodding politely, maybe even complimenting it. But inside there's this little voice going, I could never do that. Where does that voice come from? And why is it so certain? Here's the thing about permanence that nobody wants to admit. It's not actually about the tattoo at all. It's about what permanent decisions represent in a world where we've been taught to keep our options open, to stay flexible, to never fully commit to anything that can't be undone with a simple unsubscribe button. Welcome to the mind of the tattoo-free, where every blank canvas is actually a safety net. These folks aren't just avoiding needles and ink. They're navigating a complex web of future self anxiety, identity preservation, and the paralyzing fear of being stuck with a choice they made when they were younger, dumber, or just in a different phase of life. The psychology community has a fancy term for this: decision paralysis rooted in anticipated regret. But let's be real, it's simpler than that. It's the same reason people spend 20 minutes choosing a Netflix show they'll watch for 2 hours. Except this time, the stakes feel yongjota, irreversible, carved into your actual skin. Now imagine you're the version of yourself from 10 years ago. Would you trust that person to pick out your outfit for today? Probably not. So why would you let them choose a permanent design for your body? That's the core anxiety right there, wrapped up in a bow. But here's where it gets interesting. Research from 2021 shows that people without tattoos score higher on something called future self continuity. Basically, they see their future selves as different people entirely. The you from tomorrow might as well be a stranger, and strangers shouldn't make permanent decisions for each other. Meanwhile, the tattooed crowd tends to see their past, present, and future selves as one continuous story. The ink is just another chapter. For the non-tattooed, there's no story, just a series of temporary drafts that might need serious editing. Then there's the control factor, which sounds dramatic, but it's real. In a world that's constantly changing jobs, relationships, cities, even your own body aging beyond recognition, your skin is one of the few things you can keep exactly as it is. No modifications, no additions, just you in your original state. Some psychologists call this the default bias, where the original option feels safer simply because it's what you started with. It's why people stick with terrible bank accounts and why they never change their phone wallpaper. The tattoo-free aren't necessarily afraid of tattoos, they're in love with the baseline. And let's talk about the aesthetic purists for a second. Not everyone, but there's a subset who genuinely believe the human body is fine as is, thank you very much. They see skin as already complete, a finished work that doesn't need embellishment. Think of them as the minimalists of the body modification world. But underneath all this philosophical reasoning, there's often something more primal at play. Pain avoidance, yes, but also this weird cultural programming we've all absorbed. Remember when your grandmother said tattoos were for sailors and criminals? That stuff sticks around in the subconscious, even when you logically know it's outdated. The rebellion angle is fascinating too. In 2025, when seemingly everyone from your barista to your boss has ink, choosing to stay blank becomes its own form of nonconformity. You're not following the crowd, you're the crowd of one, standing out by blending in with history. There's also what researchers call identity flexibility anxiety. People without tattoos often describe themselves as still figuring things out, even when they're 40 years old with kids and a mortgage. The tattoo represents a closed door, a decision made, a self-defined. And if there's one thing modern society teaches us, it's to never fully define yourself. You might want to pivot later. Professional concerns play into this too, obviously. Even in 2025, there are industries where visible tattoos can limit opportunities. But here's the twist. People use this as an excuse, even when they work in fields where nobody cares. It's a socially acceptable cover for deeper psychological resistance. Then you've got the perfectionists, and oh boy, are they a special category. They can't commit to a tattoo because what if they find a better design next year? What if the artist messes up? What if it doesn't age well? The anxiety isn't about having a tattoo, it's about having an imperfect one. Some folks in this camp have been planning their first tattoo for 15 years. They've got Pinterest boards, they've consulted with artists, They know exactly what they want. They're just waiting for the perfect moment, which conveniently never arrives. The funny part is how defensive people get about not having tattoos. Ask someone why they're ink-free and watch them launch into a 10-minute explanation filled with very serious reasons. Meanwhile, people with tattoos usually just shrug and say, "I liked it." The psychology of justification is strong with this one. There's also a fascinating link to mortality anxiety. Tattoos are permanent until you're not, which means they force you to confront your own finite existence. The non-tattooed can maintain the illusion of endless time, endless possibility, endless youth. Why lock anything down when you've got forever to decide? And we can't ignore the pain to purpose equation. People with tattoos often say the pain was worth it for the meaning. But the tattoo-free flip this script. If it's that painful, the meaning better be absolutely life-changing, monument-worthy, worth carving into stone level, significant. And what really qualifies? Nothing, apparently. Social proof plays a weird role too. Despite millions of people walking around with tattoos and no regrets, the tattoo-free tend to fixate on the exceptions. They know 3 people who regret their ink, and those 3 people become the entire data set. Confirmation bias is a powerful drug. Here's where it gets meta. Many non-tattooed people define themselves by what they're not doing. Their identity includes this active choice to abstain, which gives them a sense of control and distinction. They're not just people without tattoos, they're people who've consciously decided against them, and that decision matters. The economic rationality crowd deserves a mention. These are the folks calculating the cost per year of enjoyment, comparing it to other purchases, running actual spreadsheets on whether $4,500 for a sleeve is worth it. They're not wrong, but they're also missing the point entirely. And then there's the subset who genuinely don't want them for pure aesthetic preference. No deeper psychology required. They just think skin looks better without ink. These people exist, they're valid, and they're probably the most well-adjusted of the bunch. But for most others, it's a swirling cocktail of anticipated regret, identity, uncertainty, control needs, and social conditioning. The tattoo itself is almost irrelevant. It's what it represents that keeps them up at night. Critics of this whole analysis might say we're overthinking it, that some people just don't like tattoos, and that's fine, and they'd be right. But why they don't like them, what that preference reveals about how they see themselves and their future, that's where the psychology gets interesting. The modern world demands we keep reinventing ourselves every few years. New career, new city, new personal brand. The tattoo-free have internalized this message completely. They're not opposed to self-expression, they're just doing it in erasable ink, waiting for the next mandatory update to their personal operating system. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The decision to stay tattoo-free is often less about tattoos and more about a deep-seated discomfort with permanence itself. In an age of endless options and constant change, committing to anything forever feels almost rebellious or terrifying, or both. That's the psychology hiding in plain sight, written on blank skin across millions of bodies. But who knows, maybe tomorrow's research will reveal something even stranger about why we choose what we choose. The story's still being written, just not in ink.